given the subject that we have been dealing with so far, growth and maturity in God, I can confidently say that it is impossible for that to be achieved outside of the confines of mentorship. Growth and maturity in God cannot be achieved outside of spiritual mentorship. Last week, but one, I was told after the service that we had a great man of God that I respect, that I honor so much, Bishop Manurro, that he came here whilst I was preaching. He arrived at the gate. He refused being brought into the auditorium. He went to the overflow, he said. And they tried their level best. I said, why would you allow him to sit there? They said, we tried. He refused. He said, I'm here to hear. I want a place where I can sit away from what is happening. I've just come to listen. I'm here to hear. And when the service was about to end, he was the first one to leave. He left. I preached. I didn't know he was here. I finished. I didn't know he was here. I went home. I didn't know he was here until I was told. I didn't know what to do. How can such a man who has done so much, is a man of faith? I understand his history. But why would he refuse? I'm not saying there is anything wrong finding a place in the auditorium. No. But I'm just looking at what the man has achieved and still not want to be seen. He didn't even tell me that he was coming. Now, okay, so that maybe you understand the level of respect that I have for him. I once preached in his ministry some time back, a few months ago. And then after that, the last service, he brought a parcel to me. And I knew that this was a seed, a thank you seed that he gave to me. In as much as I knew that this was a seed, I couldn't refuse. Because you also have to apply wisdom. You have to understand what is happening. Yeah? There are times when you meet a person and he hands you over an envelope and you say, no, you don't sow into my life. Maybe it's just a prayer request. You must be careful. Because once the thing is packaged, you have to know first what it is. Know first what it is. In as much as I knew that it was a seed, but I wanted to be sure. So when I got home, I found out it was a seed. Then I said to Pastor, since this is a seed, you take it back to the man of God. And I warned him, I said, never allow this parcel to slip in your house, slip in your car. Because this in my house, at my level of anointing, this will work as a curse. And I told him, I said, I'm not foolish. Look at my face. I know sometimes I look like I'm that, but I'm not that foolish. I told him, I'm not a foolish. I cannot receive money from a man of such caliber. And he puts money into my life. He sows a seed into my life. For what? for preaching in his ministry. The mere opportunity of me ministering there was a seed. I don't belong there. I don't qualify. He has fought battles that I'm yet to fight. How can I have such a man from such an altitude sowing down into my life? I said, I'm not a fool. Don't be a fool. Make sure this money doesn't slip in your car. Doesn't slip. I said to him, no matter what happens, if he refuses, find ways of making sure that you leave this money. If he refuses and you can't, and then he conquers you, let me, even me, not see you here again. Why I said he's a father. I owe him. I have to be the one sowing. There's nothing that I have that he needs. They fought lions, they fought creatures, they fought with bears before we were born. So I told him from here, go. So straight away he went, and the man of God was busy because that was after the evening service. So there were also other people and visitors there keeping him busy, and he fought his way until he left the seed. And then we had to communicate. We said, no, this is not necessary. We don't expect this to happen between fathers and sons. It cannot happen. I'm not saying you do that. Okay, can I continue teaching on this subject? Okay, remember. I'm me. You are you. It's not everything that I do that I expect you to do. Our mandates are different. Our prescriptions are different. Our missions, our destinies are different. Some are going too far, some are going too near. So the payment cannot be the same. I'm telling you, child of God, you get into any bus on your way to anywhere, you'll find certain people paying less than you are paying. It depends on where they are going. I'm telling you. So I don't expect you to behave like that, having a small mission that you're pursuing. Your agenda is too small for such a behavior. I have to say that part and elaborate and make it clear, otherwise you may lose both the money and the spirituality of the man. Yeah, woo! Can we talk on submission? Don't start off by copying that because you heard that from me. I'm refusing this because I'm aware of my capacity, my ability to receive the other thing. I know my capacity, that if I'm to lose a physical thing, I know how to get the spiritual one. Because most of you, after having lost both, you will pose as a threat to even the father, the man of God, the ministry. You will realize that you had no ability to even get the spiritual rewards, having denied an opportunity given to you to receive the what? The physical rewards. So I told him, I said, I'm not a fool. Please take it back. I will not allow this. I did not allow it to enter. So it was in my car, and simply because the money was in my car, I had to pray for my vehicle. But not into my house. I said, I have children. I have children in that house that I care for. Take it back. And all that he did was to laugh, and he received it from the past. He laughed. Many, many, many months ago. This is the problem now. You see, when God places a blessing upon Abraham and he says, through you nations shall be blessed. Abraham, what he does to get rid of some of you people, he gives you money. The scripture says Abraham gave gifts to servants and he gave the blessing to Isaac. How do you know that you are a servant, that you are a slave? The desire for physical rewards. It's not the Abraham, it's not your father that decides that. No, it is your attitude, your hunger, your appetite towards material things. Your desire for physical things is an indication of how much you have developed yourself in the flesh. If the greater part of you is physical, then your desire for physical things becomes greater. Because you are the majority. Your flesh is the majority of you.
But unto the sons of the concubines which Abraham had, Abraham gave gifts and sent them away from Isaac his son, while he yet lived eastward unto the east.
He sent them away. And you keep studying, you will see that what he gave to Isaac was a blessing. He blessed only Isaac, not the rest of his children, not the rest of his servants. Now, when you speak like this as a principal, sometimes even as a mentor, even as a coach, even especially as a spiritual father, most people, they think we are doing loss control. I'm trying to save money. I'm even saying, don't refuse receiving physical things if you are more physical. You know yourself better. I've said it, I'll say it again. I've had people coming to me saying, all I want is to serve. What do you want? I want spiritual things. Spiritual things. And then whilst they are serving and they see other people collecting money, you know it when you started joining a department that you're joining. You just wanted to serve God for spiritual benefits. Then you discover that there are people in that department who are making money. They are inflating charges, quotations. If there is an event, somebody goes out, he hires this and people. I know there's a lot that happens in this ministry. Ever for years, I know it. I know it. I know it. I know it. From the beginning of the ministry, I know who steals money. I know. Now, so while you are there, you are serving, you will find out there are people within that unit that are making a living. Suddenly, your mission starts to change. Your appetite starts to change. You are the only one not getting physical benefits out of the work that you are doing. So I'm just giving you an example. How is it that I knew that I could not receive from such a man? And yet, months later, such a man comes here and he's demonstrating that. I could have stopped preaching, wait for him to come in here. Where did he get that humility from? Isn't that kind of humility dangerous for sons? Especially if sons are not spiritual enough to understand. You must be wise dealing with fathers. They can outsmart you. They will play you 10-0. They allow you to score and you think you're winning. I'm mentioning names because I'm teaching you. At some point when we have the men of God, Dr. Apostle Guti, when he came here and we were in the office, and after a while he went into the bathroom, he came out and he said, he began to give me information. He began to teach me on certain things. He said, you must always teach your people to make sure they put some toilet paper. There must always be some tissue in the toilet. Then right away I called them. I said, guys, you must always, how can? And the man of God that I was talking to said, there is toilet paper. I said, there is no toilet paper. And then he went and he came back. He wanted to convince me the toilet paper is just that he had not seen it. And he wanted to argue. I said to him, there is no toilet paper. Go and put a toilet paper there. He didn't. We wrestled for him to understand. Why would you want to argue with a father? Even if it is there, it is not rightly placed. You put it where a man of his nature cannot see. So it's not there. You cannot be mentored if all you know to do is to argue with authority. You can't. So I insisted. I said, there is no toilet paper. Go and put it there. And he said, there is. Oh my God. You don't try to prove a point when you're dealing with a person who is highly placed in the spirit. Why would you, if you were the right person to have put that toilet paper, why would you put it in a place where a man of this stature cannot see? What is he saying? Even if it is there, he's telling me you don't have the right person to be putting that piece of paper. You make it non-existent. Your service is not recognizable by spiritual people. And by arguing, you are even proving that you are not the right person to have what? To have put it. So at your level, that's where you begin to argue now with authority. But you know, sometimes, yes, we follow. I like that church, but there are certain things about my father that I don't understand. Sit down, please.